Field hockey head coach Christy Morgan is 2 wins away from returning to the NCAA tournament for the first time with JMU since 1999. That was when the former Olympian stepped away from the sidelines and began a battle against, at the time, an unknown enemy.
Having her out here, you would never know that anything was ever wrong or that she went through those experiences because she's so passionate about this moment and this team.
And then I had doctors saying, yeah, maybe you're getting depressed. I'm like, well, when your body is your tool and you're used to having high energy and that defines you, when you lose that, of course, you get a little bit depressed. But it was not depression. It was an illness that they couldn't figure out. So what's interesting is my players don't really know the story because I was so embarrassed.
To understand Christy Morgan's journey, one that took her away from Harrisonburg, you have to go back to 1998, 4 years after leading JMU to a field hockey national championship.
There it is.
It was a crazy illness where my whole body was weak. I'd finish a game and I'd exhaust myself and I couldn't remember the names of the parents of my kids. Sometimes I even got a little bit lost driving home, so that I knew there was something really wrong.
The problem was, no one could figure out what was wrong.
I went to UVA, I went every doctor I could find in Harrisonburg. I went to DC and everybody had a different answer.
Left with no right answers, Morgan made the toughest decision of her life.
When I got even sicker and sicker in '99, I knew that it was not best for my student athletes for me to be their leader. I knew I had to leave and sorry, let somebody else take over.
Well, some people say, Christy, that the guts and the attitude is a direct reflection of their head coach, you.
Oh, thank you very much. It was really hard. We were consistently in the top 10. We had the frame of mind that would lead us to the Final Four every single year.
After 9 seasons at JMU, Morgan left Harrisonburg and then collegiate coaching altogether, her body getting weaker with no solution in sight.
I didn't think I was going to live because I was so weak. I would wake up in the morning after not sleeping and have to just lay in bed. I had nothing that I could give to the world, and that's the hardest thing, you know, as somebody who wants to make a difference in the world.
It took a decade for Morgan to finally figure out what was wrong with her health.
I finally found a doctor that did the right test and said I was off the chart with celiac disease, and simple thing, just stop eating, you know, gluten, which I was like, what is gluten and what is this illness and what is this disease? And
celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder where basically the body is unable to process any gluten, which is found in items such as pasta and bread. Now these days it's pretty easy to find gluten-free versions of these products, but the Celiac Disease Foundation says more than 2.5 million Americans go undiagnosed, and for a while Christy Morgan was part of that statistic.
To know that there was a real thing and this real thing could really be resolved was an amazing feeling, because I knew I'd get better and I knew that I could live my passion again, which was coaching at the college level.
Morgan returned to the sidelines in 2011, joining the staff at Wake Forest before returning to James Madison in 2014.
I needed to come home, and when this position opened, I knew 100% that I would fight like heck to get it back.
3 seasons later, at the age of 53, Morgan is feeling better than ever before.
I feel like I can have an impact every second, and I think that's why I love what I do.
I could get emotional. Having a coach like Coach Morgan just completely changes an experience. She's always pushing us in every which way possible, forcing us to become comfortable with the uncomfortable. And
you know, when something's taken away from you and then you get it back, there's even a greater appreciation. So I drive into campus even to this day and I'm like, whew, can't believe it, here I am. To be back here, I see it as a blessing every single day.
Shows you how much science and medicine and research has changed since 1999 when
Absolutely.
we really didn't know what celiac disease was. Clearly she's better now. She's following a clean diet. She's careful of what she eats when she's on the road and in restaurants, and now she's 2 wins away from making it back to the NCAA tournament.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, David.